most of us women and men are walking around each day in shoes that, let's face it, are just not good for us.
It's true, guys, too. We wear the wrong shoes sometimes. That's why a Connecticut podiatrist has stepped in, so to speak, to make sure both men and women know what shoes are right for them.
That's right. From New Haven's Just Right Shoes, please welcome Dr. Neil Zombach. Welcome back. Good to have you, Dr. Z.
Thanks, Desiree.
As this you're
Chris.
so endearingly called, Dr. Z. Dr. Zombach.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Thanks for
things
having
on.
us.
Tell us about Just Right for Shoes. How did you guys all get started?
Well, basically, we find in the New Haven area there's really not a lot of shoes that are, shoe stores, I should say, that are hands-on. You know, you're pretty much on your own. The old-fashioned shoe stores where you go in and you get waited on and serviced are just not there. You can go other parts of the state, but there's really there's nothing in the greater New Haven area. So the Just Right Shoe Store was formed to address those issues, and it seemed fitting to have the store, even though it's for everybody, in a setting where there is foot problems, I should say, which is right next to my office at Temple Street in New Haven, at Temple Medical, excuse me.
I say stepping and you say it seems fitting, and really it is about the fit. I mean, this is what we're talking about. People choose shoes based on style sometimes solely, another one if you will. All right, I'm done now with those. But really, the fit is so crucial, and you have to understand why something is right and something isn't right. And that's where you guys really come in.
Absolutely, that's what we're about. We're about fit, sizing, making sure shoes are comfortable. The biggest dilemma, of course, women do make up a large population of foot problems.
Because we're rocking stilettos all the time. Four-inch stilettos.
Right. But don't forget about those men. But women do have issues, and when you talk about shoes, you talk about width, length, but also volume or depth. And a lot of the shoes, even the athletic shoes, they're addressing those issues, which are very important for fit and function.
But I'd like to address something, Dr. Zombach. These are not, for a long time, when you mentioned comfort shoes, and ladies know what I mean, and men, you're thinking like your grandmother's shoe. You're thinking, oh, but no, I don't think
there's
so.
No style.
There's not going to be any style, but that's not the case, because I was checking these out earlier, and some really pretty detail put into some of these really comfortable shoes.
Absolutely. If we just take a look at this shoe, this is an Ara shoe that the store carries, a German line. What's beautiful is it's got a heel to it, and then this front, which is, of course, a design pattern, actually has an expansion so that you can wear this with a width. If you have a bunion or a wide forefoot, this will fit somebody comfortably, and then there is a depth to the toe box, so you're not crowding your toes.
Wow, good to know.
There's a lot of science that goes into the right fit as well that you guys incorporate in the store. Tell us a little about that. You can even show us, how some of this science works.
Oh yeah, great. A lot of people come in. Let's step over here, actually, if I may.
And I know I don't have shoes on, everybody, because they're probably thinking, why does that girl not have any shoes? Leads us to what we're going to talk about.
There's a reason.
Okay, here we go.
What we do is you'll come in, and somebody in the store will a lot of times ask you what your problem is. And we start with a I-step exam. Basically, it's a simple 20-second thing. You take your shoes off, leave your socks on. And it measures, basically, it does measure your shoe size. It does measure weight distribution. It can be a screening process to determine if there might be a limb length or something else that's imbalanced there.
When you say weight distribution, though, because Chris and I are both runners, and we were talking earlier, it does matter when it comes to running and things like that. So it's going to tell you where I'm heaviest?
Well, heaviest, in the forefoot or the heel. Typically, we do have more pressure in our heels. Is it outside? Is it inside? We'll see when we go on.
Let's step on this thing. Let me step on here.
Okay, and we're going to just do a test here.
Okay.
So, for example, if someone has problems like shin splints regularly, if they're wearing a better shoe, would they perhaps be able to avoid some of those issues?
Absolutely, and actually, what's nice about what we offer at the store is actually ways to customize the shoe. Let's say you are somebody who has a shin splint problem. Certainly a better shoe may be all you need. But a lot of times the shoe may need something a little more, a special bed, more than just what comes with the shoe.
Can you show the special bed? Because I thought that was really cool and unique.
Yeah. There's that. And then, Chris, there's also, this is actually geared for athletics because of the material on top. It sort of wicks away moisture. This is called a Linko. They're not very expensive. They usually run about $60. But there's different types. There's ones that have a metatarsal support, which again, the I-step can help direct one of the workers in the store as to what might be appropriate there. Some of them have something called a post or a wedge here, which angles the foot, again, determined by what might be seen either through just stance or on the I-step test. And then, of course, full length, short length. So it's a way to customize the shoe.
Can we take a look
yeah,
at
well,
Dez's and
see
see
what Des, let's see
what
what's
do we
going
see
on.
here?
I'm
Okay.
a little nervous.
So-
Getting a free consultation now. I love it.
So if Des, if you could step off for a second, just to show you.
Yep.
Okay, as has been discussed, it's normal to have weight-bearing pressure in the red. But what is unique about the way you stand, the brighter the colors, the more pressure. Well, look how much pressure you exhibit. This is your left and this is your right. On the outside of your right foot. Look at the red area. Look at the yellow. Okay, so that suggests that on your right foot, you're really low the outside. That may imply, doesn't mean you have, it may imply that you have a shorter a shorter right side.
Okay.
Or that certainly you load that part of your foot.
I do, though.
And you might be prone to
See?
a lateral shin splint, if you will, an outside shin splint.
Oh, my gosh.
Or even some hip or low back issues. Again, it's just a screening. It's not telling you anything.
Right.
It's just how it's interpreted.
So you would do this for me first, and then we would go into looking at shoes in terms
Right.
of what I need.
Right. Well, and then if we can just take it a step further, it tells you your size.
Right.
If we look here, this would be the size, what your arch height is, whether you would need a metatarsal arch. This recommended what they call the L400, which is one of those Linkos. That would be a plain one, not without any posting and not without that metatarsal bump
I'm
that
just
we...
thankful it doesn't tell you my weight.
That's the next
It's telling
page.
a whole lot of information over here.
And then the other thing that's pretty interesting is it also will direct you, guide the person who's working with you in the store.
Unreal.
What shoe within the line? Now, this is actually the Atrex software
Cool
that would work
stuff.
for you. And actually, I do happen to have
Oh, look
a
at
shoe
there.
that
So
would
got a
work.
shoe.
immediately. I'm so sorry. Yes, right here. Okay. Perfect. That shoe.
Yep.
And you say it works fabulous because it doesn't bend as well.
Right,
Did you know
there's-
that? That's the trick I wanted to tell you about.
There's three ways to look at any shoe, and you could do this when you're going to evaluate a shoe in any store. One way is you shouldn't be able to bend the shoe at the shank. It should be pretty stiff here.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
You shouldn't be able to do what we call the ringing effect, be able to twist it.
I've got to pick your
much.
brain some more, Dr. Zonbeck. You got to sit here. And listen, you can check out all of these Just Right shoes at the Fun Girls Night Out at the Chevy Theater in Wallingford Thursday,
It's
October
happening.
15th.
That's right. You're going to be there for
I'll
that
be
as
there.
well, right?
Dr. Mill's going to be there signing